if you, again, feel like you're sitting a lot and you need a little bit of opening through the hips plus strength building plus heat and fire, it's going to be awesome. So feel free, yay, feel free to mute yourselves and get nice and comfy. I'm going to take my headphones out. As always, if you need me, feel free to turn your camera on and wave frantically, and I will come and find you. So, oh, and I just realized my lights aren't even on. Hey Google, Dominique lights on. Hey Google, Dominique lights, hey Google, Dominique lights 100%. There we go. I was like, why is it not as bright in here as it is? Okay, let's come on to hands and knees to start today. So I know if your wrists are feeling not super fabulous right out of the gate, that might not feel awesome. So we're just going to sort of ease ourselves into it. So you're welcome to tuck or untuck your toes, whatever feels good for you. And I'm hoping you can see me, like see my full version of me. And if you can't, again, wave frantically. You're just going to take your body weight back towards your toes, and your toes are tucked underneath you. So you get a bit of a stretch maybe there. And there's not as much weight on your hands. And as your weight is a bit further back, can you spread out through your finger pads and just sort of start to ease yourself forward in space, maybe head over towards those tips of your fingers, and then take yourself back in space. So we get a bit of a stretch through the fascia line of our feet, and then a little bit of practice weight bearing into our wrists. And then we're taking it back in space and then bringing it forward. So especially like typing, shoulders, sitting, all of that stuff. We want to make sure that we're giving it a bit of space to open, but then also building strength, right? All the way around so we have lots of support. And I will, as now that I'm moving, let you know I have terrible allergies right now. So if I stop to sneeze or get goobery, I have tissues all around me for support. So I do apologize for that. One more time, taking your body weight back, and then taking your body weight forward. We're going to take ourselves in about the center line if you can. So you're sort of like about halvesies with your weight across the whole line of your hand. And then we're just going to go a little bit side to side. And the further back towards your feet the weight is, the less weight bearing you'll have on your wrists. So don't feel like you have to right out of the gate be totally centered if that's just not an option. You can kind of play with your weight distribution. And then can we start to make little circles here? So again, it's totally up to you how deep into this circle you go. Maybe you keep it pretty small to just sort of thunder up through that support system. You can go quite big, take it all the way around to the right, all the way back behind you, around to the left, around through center, around to the right, back behind you. So again, modifying this circular shape for whatever makes sense for what you're feeling in your body, but just sort of giving the wrist a second to have a new experience. Let's take that the other way. Also, great opportunity to start to connect into our breath, taking nice inhales and exhales. If you don't have allergies and can totally breathe freely today, circling it around, finding that breath. And then let's pause at center. As we inhale, can we lengthen out from tail to head, drawing our chest through our hands? As we breathe out, we're going to tuck through our chins and our tails and round the floor away. And can you really super duper push? And as you push, think about those shoulder blades opening away from each other. The head sort of hangs out. And then as you inhale, lengthening one vertebrae at a time from the tail. Hopefully your weight is able to be pretty centered at this point. If not, don't worry about it. You can always stay back a little bit. As you breathe out, rounding, pushing that floor away, hollowing the belly, and like really super push. See if you can spread the shoulder blades wide, and you're drawing your sternum in towards you. Inhaling to lengthen that out. And now as your hand goes through, as your chest goes through your arms, make sure your shoulders don't slump to your ears. As your chest draws wide, think about hugging your shoulder blades down your back. And then as you breathe out, we're reversing that by pushing the floor away more. It's like there's an internal rotation here happening. So your elbows are sort of swiveling, your armpits swiveling to face in or out, I guess. I guess they're going out and around. And then as you inhale, lengthening through your tail, now you're trying to hug your shoulder blades down your back. So now your armpits are trying to like hug in. So your inner eye of your elbows are trying to look at each other. And then as you exhale, we round and we're trying to outwardly rotate and then in and around. It's kind of tricky because it's actually an internal rotation, but I want you to think of it coming from your armpit. So it's like your armpit is spiraling out, if that makes sense. One more time, as you inhale, your armpits are spiraling in, which is actually an external rotation of your humerus, lengthening forward. And again, we're trying to draw the shoulder blades down our back as we do this, and exhaling it up, out, and around. our backs. So before we do our super fun standy high energy thing, which I want to kind of like get going onto pretty quickly, I want us to make sure we can stabilize through our pelvis. And my favorite way to do that is with shoulder bridges and then with ab work. So that's where we're going to start first. Planting your feet on the floor, taking a second to get nice and rooted. Again, inhaling through your nose into the backs and sides of the ribs, if that's possible for you. As you exhale it out, drawing the ribs down, pelvic floor draws up, wide across the belly button, wide across the hip bones. Taking an inhale here, and then as you exhale, starting to scoop through your low belly, push the floor away, fire your glutes as you lengthen your vertebrae up and out, one vertebrae at a time. At the top, taking a breath in, feel your whole foot pressing on the floor, and as you exhale, reverse engineer this, rolling your spine all the way down. So it's like you're sort of placing your spine on little tracks. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, scooping through that pelvis, pushing the floor away, fire the glutes, lengthen yourself up and out. Take an inhale at the top. As you breathe out, scoop tuck, roll your lovely spines all the way back down to the floor. Few more here, so you're welcome to keep your hands down. Again, this is sort of like a massage for our spine, as well as an awakening through the backs of the legs. That's why I like to start class with this, because it gives us the chance to mobilize and strengthen. Two more here. Breathing out, pressing your feet down, finding the glutes, finding the low belly. It's sort of like you're doing an upside down plank here, drawing the midline of the thighs forward, taking your breath in. As you breathe out, one vertebrae at a time, find that inner hug of the inner thigh. Even though they're not touching, they're energized. Yes? One more time, pushing it down, lifting it up, and then this is where we start to get exciting. So at the top, little bits of housekeeping. We want to imagine like there's that ball between our thighs. So our thighs aren't actually going to touch, but they are hugging in. The whole entire surface of your foot is pressing down into the floor and hugging your heels towards your glutes. And then we're opening wide across the pelvis, across the belly. Now, without moving through your thighs, can you inhale, start to tip your left pelvis down. Left side of your pelvis is spiraling down. Right side of your pelvis is spiraling up. Thighs stay still. And then breathe out. Bring that left hip back up so you're back centered. As you inhale, your right side of your pelvis is twirling, spiraling down as left side goes up. And then breathe out, right hip lifts. Inhaling to let that left side, and it's like we're rotating on top of ourselves here, back to center. So it's not dropping down, it's staying up where it is, and the pelvis is revolving around itself here. Now, next little bit of business as you're doing this is we're trying to keep those ribs drawing in. We're trying to keep those thighs still. If your low back was super not prepared to be up here and it doesn't feel great, you can always lower down a little bit and work that rotation from a little lower down. It's not going to be as intense in the glutes, but really what we're looking to find here as well is the mobility. Lifting it up, take that rotation, taking that rotation. And lift. If this is starting to feel nice and spicy and we can feel all that home-based goodness, we're going to reach those arms up, give them a squeeze. My screen just went black, so I just want to check and make sure we're here. I think we are, but you never know. There we go. Good. Okay. Twist and lift. Twist and lift. We're going for 5 and twist. We're going for 4. Keep pressing down through that whole root of the foot. Keep drawing the ribs in. Glutes are on. Thighs are reaching forward. For 2. Last one. Twist and lift. Twist and lift and hold. Hold it at the top here. Take a breath in. Hold it at the top here. Take a breath out. Can you maybe roll up to your right toe so your right heel is hovered off the floor just about halfway? And notice if your pelvis did any wibble wobbles, let's lower it back down. Take a breath in here. Keep squeezing through your arms. As you breathe out, lift your left heel to hover, keeping that pelvis nice and stable. Take your breath in. As you breathe out, lower that foot down. Inhale. Exhale, right heel hovers. Take that breath in. As you breathe out, right heel lowers down. Inhaling here. As you breathe out, left heel hovers. Stay there, breathe in, left heel lowers down. One more time each side. And the whole time we're here, we're trying to keep that relationship rib to hip. We're not popping all the way up into our highest half toe. We're just going about halfway. Lower down, take your breath in. And as you breathe out, let's lower our lovely selves back down. Give it a little shakety shake shake. We're going to take those arms and keep them down. A little bit of activation through the core here. So right now we've been rolling up and down, right? And that there's that sweet spot where as we roll into our low backs. And we're gonna call that an imprint for all intents and purposes today. So starting if you can with a bit of a home base of those hips and pubic bones as flat and level as you possibly can. Take a breath in here, please. And as you breathe out, scoop and hollow through that belly. And so as we start to find that scoop to the floor, knowing that it's never just a direct press into the floor, because notice if you press really hard, the front part of your belly sort of pops up. We want to really focus on a nice scoop here. Arms can stay down for now. Keep scooping, breathing in as you breathe out to the toes of our feet, and just notice if you lose the capacity to scoop, no glutes, wide belly. If it's in your wheelhouse, if you can keep that strength and stability, let's lift those legs one at a time up to a tabletop. If your feet are lifted, can you flex out and then separate them so they're that hip distance that we practiced in our bridge? And there's again that energy. Our inner thighs are not actually going to touch, but they're going to stay energized in. Hands are going to come to our thighs. You're going to take a breath in. And as you breathe out, can you 60% hug in with your legs and 40% resist with your hands? And you're going to hold that 60-40 tension for 10, for 9, for 8. And the whole time you're 60-40ing, you're scooping through your belly. For 3, ribs are down. For 2, last 1, maybe release your hands, drop your feet if you need to, or if you can keep them up, keep them up. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Taking a moment to collect the energy. If you've lowered down, this is your chance to bring yourself back up. We've scooped through the low belly, so we're trying to curve our low back to the floor. Our ribs are drawing in and down. Belly is wide. Hip bones are wide. Hands come to thighs. Take your breath in. As you breathe out, you're 60% squeezing in with your legs. You're 40% pushing out with your hands. For 10, for 9, scoop and hollow for 8. Now you're in charge of your pressure, so just make sure you're not gripping your jaw or throwing your head back. For 5, maybe a blanket underneath the head and shoulders is great. For 2, last 1, dropping it out just for a hot second, breathing in, breathing it out. We have 2 more of these. If you've dropped through those legs, lift them back up. Remember the integrity of your pelvis, the width across your belly, and ease across the chest. Inhale here as you breathe out. Hug those legs in 60, push back 40, holding that tension for 10, for 9. Now remember, we're trying not to dome up through the center of our bellies. We want to flatten and wide. For 3, for 2, last 1, take a break if you need to, or keep holding where you are, enjoying a moment with no tension through the hands and thighs. When you're ready, bring yourself back. 60% legs, 40% hands. Keep scooping through the belly. Imagine the work and fire the work from pubic bone to belly button. Take that breath in. As we breathe out, 60% with the legs, 40% with the arms. For 10, for 9, for 8, you're resisting. 7, this is also some deep psoas work. 5, so if you're feeling a little bit of low back, that's okay. 3, for 2, last 1. You can bring those knees into your chest, give yourself a little rock side to side. Nice big breath in through the nose here. Exhale it out. Let's place those feet down. And let's revisit that experience of when we open our legs out, like kind of like you're doing a Supta Baddha Konasana in yoga, which is when you're out in like a cobbler's pose. Now, if your knees don't love being out like this, that could be kind of tricky on your joints. You're always welcome to lift them up as best as you can, finding that neutral home base where our hip bones and pubic bone are level. Let's take our hands, interlace our fingers, and place your head in your hands, lifting up through those elbows. Give your head a little shake in your hands here, just to make sure our collarbones are staying nice and calm. Before we go anywhere, inhale through the nose. Exhale, Pilates breath out. And can you already start to turn on all that support that you just harvested in your harnessed, I should say, in your core, in your abdomen? We want to keep that on. Taking an inhale, looking up to the ceiling. As you breathe out through your mouth, slide the ribs down your waist, curl up, and you're just looking over the horizon of your toes or straight forward. Now at the top here, take a few breaths. Notice if your legs closed, if your pelvis wobbled, all of those things. We want to stay as balanced as possible. Inhaling to lengthen ourselves back, keep drawing those ribs down and in. As we breathe out, flexing up through the spine, maybe like you're lifting yourself up and over something in order to crawl. Inhale to lengthen your torso back, but don't take a break. As you breathe out, slide the ribs down like you're trying to slide the back low ribs towards the back of your pelvis. Inhaling to lengthen back. As you exhale, nodding through that chin, trying to keep your head nice and heavy in your hands. Inhaling back. Now, as you curl, can we consider the pressure that we hadn't created previously, right? When we were drawing our hands and thighs in towards each other, we still want to feel that recruitment deep in the low belly. And what we've added on top of that is the capability of flexion. Woo, feeling good. Exhaling it up. So this is another sort of home base, right? Because we're still staying pretty linear in our direction forward here. So you can notice if your pelvis does a little wibble wobble. And what we want to try to do is keep it as completely still as possible. And that happens by that same muscle and same musculature as when you were pressing. Few more here, please. Let's go for 3. Anyone feeling their abs yet? Let's go for 2. I hope that comes off as a sassy question because I definitely feel mine. 1, hold it wherever you are. Take a breath in. Hold it where you are. Take your breath out. Hold it where you are. Take your breath in. Hold it where you are. Take your breath out. Can you increase with every breath, but stay where you are. Breathe in. Use your breath. Breathe out. 1 more time. Breathe in. 10 little pulses up in space for 10. For 9, for 8, for 7, and can you think wider as you pulse it? For 4, for 3, for 2, last one, hold it here, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lower down. Nice job. If you need to give yourself a little windshield wiper, please feel free. And we're going to meet lying back on our backs. So I said really quickly there, because our heads are down, it might feel like you want a bit of extra support. So great opportunity to bring in a little bit of a blanket behind your head and just the tops of your shoulders so your neck doesn't get put under too much tension that it's not happy about. Okay, so finding your neutral home base again, that just being when we're trying to get the hips and the pubic bone as level to each other as possible. Thinking about the relationship rib to hip, we're taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, let's do it. Give it that little scoop. Let's inhale to release. And remember, it's a really hollow shape here. So we're not trying to bubble up or push through the center. We're literally trying to scoop our bellies down. Hands can stay on the floor. Let's take our breath in. As we breathe out, let's roll up to both of our toes. And just notice if you started to find like a super duper bubble or pop through the center of the body. Can we widen it out? Can we scoop and draw it in? Now from here, let's lift just the left leg to tabletop first and then freeze. So if you're happiest with a bit of extra support, your right leg is going to stay down. You're going to place both of your hands against your right thigh. Now, if you're actually feeling like quite stable, you can bring that right leg up as well. So you can have 2 legs lifted or just your left leg. Both of your hands are going to come to the right side. Can you stack right hand down on middle of right thigh, left hand on top of right hand? Does that make sense? So don't put right hand on top. Make sure your left hand is on top. We are flexing through both of our feet. Let's take a breath in here, please. Let's take a breath out and find that 60-40 with just the right thigh. Inhale to release a little bit. And then exhale 60-40 with just the right thigh. Good. Now what we're going to do is we're sort of making sure that everything home base wise stays the same, right? Little bits of housekeeping. We want to keep scooping through the belly. We want to keep that pelvis nice and level. And then if you're happy and excited to add on, as you 60-40 pull the right thigh in, your left heel is going to lower towards the floor, but it might not touch. Quick inhale and then exhale, pull that leg back in. Take a breath in here. As we exhale, 60-40, pull the right thigh in, resist with your hands, lower left heel towards the floor, quick breath in, and then as you breathe out, pull the left leg up. Inhale, quick little break from your 60-40. As you breathe out, 60% right leg in, 40% resist. Scoop through the belly, your left heel lowers to the floor, fire up the left leg, quick inhale, and then exhale to scoop and pull that leg in. 3 more, breathe in. As you breathe out, pull the right thigh in as your left leg draws down. Take a quick inhale, then exhale, scoop, scoop, scoop. Use the hollowness of the belly to pull that left leg up. 2 more, inhale. As you exhale, pull the right leg in, left thigh lowers. We're scooping, we're scooping, we're scooping. Keep the left leg energized, then exhale, pull it back in. 1 more time, inhaling. Remember your right leg could always be down here. As we exhale, scoop and lower. Take a quick inhale, exhale to pull it up. Now, if you can, stay where you are. If you need to take a quick break, take a quick break. Check in at center, whatever your center might be, right? That could be toes down, hovered, both legs up. And make sure that your hip bones are as level as possible, that we're still focusing on the scoop of the low belly, and we're still thinking down. It's like your belly button is a bit of a sinkhole, and you're trying to drop everything down into the sinkhole. Moving over to our left thigh this time. Left hand goes on the bottom, right hand goes on the top. That seems like it's silly, but it's actually quite important. Take your breath in. Now, don't do anything with your right leg just yet. Let's exhale. Let's home base it out. 60% hug the left thigh in, and then 40% resist with your hands. Inhale to release a little. Then exhale, 60% hug the left thigh in. Now, you could be doing this with your left foot down, yeah? That's definitely an option as well. If you'd like to add on, as you breathe out, as you 60-40 through the left leg, the right heel is going to lower down towards the floor, but it doesn't have to touch. Quick breath in, and then exhale, scoop your belly, pull the right leg in. Inhale here. As we exhale, push into the thigh, hollow the belly, right leg lowers, but it doesn't lose any energy. Breathe in, exhale, scoop and pull the right leg up. Inhaling here. As we exhale, pressing into the thigh, hollowing through the belly, drawing it in. Inhale here, then exhale to scoop and pull the leg out. Good. So that's a 4-count breath, yeah? Quick inhale. Exhale, the left thigh hugs in, resist with the hands drawn down. Now you're definitely still working hip flexor here, but as you exhale, can you really channel that low, fleshy belly space? Inhale. Exhale, hug the leg in, draw the leg down. You got it, team. Breathe in. Exhale to pull the right leg in. 2 more. Inhaling here. Exhale. Breathing it out. Use your breath the whole way. Quick inhale and use that full exhale to pull the right leg in. One more time. Breathe in. As we breathe out, pressing into that left thigh, working that right leg away from you. Maybe breathe in and then exhale. Pull the legs in. Bring everything to center. Give yourself a little rock side to side. Take a nice big breath in here and exhale it out. Last little bit of business. We're going to lengthen those legs out. I feel a sneeze coming. I don't know if it'll happen, but I feel it coming. You're welcome to keep, if you have anything behind your head, neck, shoulders for support, you're welcome to keep it there. Let's reach your legs out so they're about mat distance apart, and can you really flex up through your feet? And then as if you were working like a leg press at a gym, can you turn on your quads, like really activate them? It's an open kinetic chain here, yeah? So we can still work our muscles like that. You're gonna take your hands, interlace your fingers behind your head, and can we make sure our pelvis is starting in as much of that neutral shape as we possibly can, yes? Inhaling to be looking up at the ceiling. As we exhale, keep the feet rooted as you nod your chin and curl up, making sure we haven't scooped now. We wanna try to keep a bit of a release at the low back. Inhaling to lengthen back in space. Exhaling to curl it up. A few here. I'm hoping we're all like, oh yeah, we're working our abs today. It's happening. 2 more like this, please. Exhaling to curl. 1 more time, just like this at center. Now release your right arm up to the ceiling, please. We can maybe even make that into a fist. And as you exhale, can you nod your chin, curl up, and reach up and over like you kind of want to skim the top of the left toes. Inhale to bring yourself up and back, and then exhale to the left every time. Now, if you feel like you don't need the arm as a reaching here, you can keep your hands completely behind your head. The arm sort of helps with the direction that we're going, because what I don't want is for us to be going down towards our outside of our left hip. Can we sort of even hear in my chest how that becomes more constricted? It's an up and an over. Like we're sort of trying to like blow a kiss to your middle of your left foot. Pelvis is staying completely rooted. And the really gorgeous thing about rotation is that it's a full upper body experience. So it's coming from behind the back of the right shoulder and armpit as we fold up and over. Turn on through those legs. Let's go for 5. Let's go for 4. Nice job here, team. Head stays heavy in the hands for 3. We're still trying to keep nice and wide across that low belly for 2. Keep energizing through those feet. Last 1. If your right arm was up, bring it behind your head. Release your left arm and then exhale, curl up and over to the right. Take a quick little pause. Make sure you're not heading down in space. Make sure you're not resting on your back right shoulder blade. We're super, super energized through those legs. Inhale, lengthen back, and then exhale up and over to the right. So you can do this with the arm if you find that arm gives you a little bit of extra mobility, because sometimes it does. Or if you're really super happy bringing both hands behind your head, please feel free to do so. As we lengthen back, avoiding the chance to take like a full break, we're not resting back in space. It's definitely an opportunity to lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Change your mind, curl it up. Lengthen, 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 and then curl it up. Keeping your pelvis really nice and level, gliding left hip towards the right, or left rib, sorry, towards the right hip. We're going for 5. Are we getting excited and toasty here for 4? Can we keep the head heavy in the hands for 3 and really feel like that contraction is happening across the body, and that brings us up. Last one, curling it up. Inhale to lengthen through center. Exhale, curl up at center. Hold it. Inhale to go back. Exhale, curl up to the left. Hold your curl to up and over to the left. Make sure you're off of that back left shoulder blade for 10, 9, 8. You're just holding. 7. Dig the heels down. 6. Hug them in for 5. Quads on for 4. Pelvis level for 3. For 2. For 1, inhale, little lengthen back. Exhale, curl up to the right. And then freeze. You're off of the back right shoulder blade as best as you can. Pelvis is level for 4. For 3. For 2. For 1. Bring it down. Nice job. Bring your knees into your chest. I'm just going to give my screen a little wiggle again to make sure that if you want me, that I can see you. Take a nice big breath in through your nose. Exhale it out. Let's take just a little bit of a twist here. So those legs can come over to the right. So we're going to be coming up to standing for our next little bit of business here. So just know that that's coming. And when we stand, you're likely going to lose my full body. You're just going to mostly see from sort of chest down, which is all you're really going to need. And then when you're ready, bring yourself through center. Take it to the other side. Nice calm breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. And then you can bring those legs back to center if you'd like, however you would like to, making your way up to standing. And I just want to make sure you can see me, because that would be unfortunate if we're doing all this and you can't even see me. Okay. So we're going to start off with something that I think we've all done before, just so we can sort of like remind ourselves of that feeling. And then it's going to get so stinking fun. I'm thrilled for you because I'm pretty sure we haven't done this together. You're going to take your right foot and you're going to come up on your back toes here. So again, that was kind of at the beginning why it was nice to stretch it out. Ooh, it's a nice quad stretch there. Let's bring our hands to our hips or cross them across your chest. And your stance doesn't have to be wide. It can be pretty narrow here. You'll see what feels comfortable to you. And we just spent all of this time organizing our pelvis in space to make sure that we could find a kind of like home base neutral position. So see if you can find that right out of the gate. Yeah, try not to let that right hip draw down. We're going to nice and slowly bend through both of our knees as if we wanted to touch the floor, and then hug the legs in, fire your back bum cheek to stand up nice and tall. Bending through your knees, you're hugging your legs in, you're squaring off through those hips. It's as if the knee touches, and then whoosh, we squeeze and lift up. Now you might right out of the gate feel a bit of a stretch through the front of the back thigh. That's like pretty, like kind of extra bonus to this. Hugging and lowering down, and then squeezing to stand up. So can we send our attention and our focus primarily to the back leg? Let's do 2 more here. This is our sort of like blueprinty check-in, see how things are going. 1 more time. Stand it up. Nice job. And then switch sides. So my right foot is forward, my left foot is back. Again, taking a second to organize my hips in space, fire up through that back leg. And then we're going to nice and slowly bend it down. Notice if your hips change, keep them nice and level. Hug your legs in and then stand up. So like for me, just so we're all like staying kind of collectively together, my left knee is kind of like a bit poopy right now. So I can't go as low, but it means I have to extra think about squeezing through my back left bum cheek. Yeah. So keep staying super active for yourself here. And your joints won't have to take, oh, I froze. And your joints won't have to take the brunt of the work. Yeah. If you keep using the muscles. 2 more. Inhale, hug it in, keep firing through that back bum cheek, and then push the floor away as you zip up through your glutes. 1 more time, inhaling it down. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Exhale to stand it up. Okay, now's the exciting part. Give your legs a little shake if you need it. Grab some water if you need it. Actually, I might grab some water because it's going to get exciting. Okay. Left foot forward, right foot back. Keep your hands to your hips for now. We're going to do this series maybe twice, well, definitely twice, maybe 3 times. We'll see. So the first thing I want you to do is think about lowering down. But as you lower, you're going to super scoop through your pubic bone. And you know how we do that hinge sometimes where we lean back? That's what we're going to do. And I just did like a little fixaroo here because my back hip dropped. So super tons of low abs to keep that active. Squeezing through your glutes. You're doing a little dip back. Now really squeeze through that back thigh and gluteus up. We're doing 6. Let's keep our hands on our hips to start. You're hugging the legs in. You're scooping through your pubic bone. It's like you're trying to lean into that back leg. Fire through your glute. Push off that back leg. You're up for 5. If your heart rate wasn't going before, this will get it going. Keep your body centered and drawn in. So that's why we started with that ab work, because I want you to still feel how your abs are a participant here. Squeeze through that back leg and glute. 3 more. Actually, that's not true. 2 more. Drawing it down, drag it down, drag it down. So big stretch through the front of the thigh, but we're still staying nice and active. One more time. Keep the pelvis level, scooping through, hugging those legs in. Fire your back leg. Bring it up, shake it off. Whew. That one's super fun, right? Okay, right leg forward, left leg back. And we can up the ante with this too. Whoa, Nelly, right? Okay, hands at your hips, please. Right foot forward, left foot back. Take a second. Notice if you're sort of sitting in those hip joints. Draw those hips in, fire up through your back leg. Whew. Can you hear how I'm out of breath too? Like, we're all in this together. So hugging those legs in, starting to bend through your knees. So take that little bend first, and then really think about scooping, and then add the hinge, because it might be different on this side. Fire through the back leg and bum cheek, bringing it up. Scooping through your pelvis, drawing those ribs in. You're going for your hinge, you're going for your hinge. Fire through that back bum cheek, push it up. And it is important to note that even though we're up on the back toes, we're still energizing out through our heel, yeah? So it's not in your toe joints either. Hugging in, firing your glutes, bending through that knee. You can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Hips are level. Bring yourself up. That was a little dramatic here. And I've got a little tissue in my hip pocket, so I don't want you to get distracted by that. Fire, squeeze, bring it up. One more time. Give it a little fire, a little squeeze. Bring it up. Take a quick rest. While you're resting, I'll give you another option. If you tried that and you were like, Dom, there's literally no way my body ever wants to do that again, which is valid. You can always bring yourself down, maybe add a blanket for your knees, scooping through your bum, taking a more rooted parallel shape, and enjoy a bit of quad and glute work here. Yes, I think we've done this version before, so this is definitely an option if being up in that lunge is not working for you. If, however, it's just feeling hot, spicy, sweet fire, that's not a bad thing either. Okay, let's bring ourselves up. Let's totally do that again. Left foot forward, right foot back. Now, I did say there's a way to up the ante. If you're feeling very confident about the relationship of your pelvis, you're going to cross your hands across your chest. Take note of what hand is in front, because I will ask you to switch on the second side. Are we ready? 6 of these. We're going to bend through those knees, hug them in. Take that lean back with your hands across your chest. Fire through that back leg. That's 1. We're going to 6. As you pull yourself down, pull your legs in, square off through those hips. Take that bit of a hinge, but always staying supported. Push it up. That's 2. Hugging in, arms are crossed. Now you could always change. You could even reach forward if you wanted to. That's 3. Whatever's going to give you the support and the challenge, but remember, it's all back leg, hamstring and bum. 4. I know you're going to feel your quad leg cray-cray. You're definitely working it, but let's not forget about the back part of the body. That's 5. One more time. Hug it down. Square off through those hips. Lean, 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 lean. Squeeze. Bring it up. 6. Give that leg a bit of a shake. Really gets it going, eh? Let's right away do that second side. This is our last one. So, left leg is back. Now, if you can crisscross applesauce your arms the opposite way, take a second, check in with those hips, drawing the back hip up, squaring the legs in, connecting into that belly. All right, here we go. We're going for 6. So, hug the legs in right out of the gate. They're hugging in towards each other. You take that hinge, that scoop of the belly. Those hips are staying nice and level. Lean, 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 lean. Fire through your bum. Bring yourself up. 1. Hug them in. Fire the back bum cheek. Take that bit of a pause. Zip through that belly. Breathe in. Push yourself up 2. Now we're definitely using back chain of the body here, yeah? So Don't worry as much about quad if you can. Really see. Now I know you're gonna feel quad for sure. That's why we don't have to worry about it. Yeah, back bum cheek. 4. And if this isn't working and you're totally in that nice double leg lean, 5, you're working for the same things. 1 more time. Hinge and lower, hinge and lower, hinge and lower. Exhale, bring yourself up. Nice job. Give yourself a little walk it off, a little shake it out. Take a nice big breath in through the nose. And exhale it out. Maybe grab some water. That one's super fun, eh? It's like my new love-hate favorite exercise. Because I love how much it makes me work. We're going to move into a little bit of shoulder stabilizing and opening work, and then a bit of strength work for the arms as well. So I would like us to meet kneeling if possible. And again, feel free to pop out any blankets or cushions, anything that you need. This isn't going to look like a ton of work visually, but I'm hoping you can feel what it's doing for you in the back of your body. So I'm going to place my left hand on my hip. So if we were looking at each other, we would be meeting like this. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. So left hand is on my hip. Right arm is nice and active. If I had, it's like I'm trying to be like a bit of a nutcracker. I keep making all these winter references and it's like 37 degrees outside. Nutcracker. Squeeze those arms so that you can turn on all those muscles. Trying to stack yourself up like you're in a plank. Definitely still access to glutes here. You're going to take that arm and really reach it forward, like you're really trying to punch something forward. And then from the back of the shoulder blade, can you squeeze it up? So try not to pinch yourself in your neck. See if you can activate it like someone's lifting the tip of your shoulder blade up. And then that shoulder blade is going to guide itself up and back. We're going in a circle. And then it's going to try to hug and snuggle into your spine as much as it can. It goes as low as it can, downwardly rotating. And then it scoops down. So we're making a circle. It circles down, away, up, and around. So you have that moment of sort of punching forward. And then the shoulder blade, the tip of the shoulder blade is trying to lift you up towards your earlobe. You take that whole shape up and back and down, drawing down so it can snuggle your spine. And then it circles its way down and forward. Keeping it nice and slow, but trying to be as big and deliberate with this as you can. Now, don't forget that your arm is totally turned on here. So we're like definitely squeezing through those arm muscles. Something I didn't say, now that we know where we're going, is we're trying not to sort of teeter-totter around with the rest of our body. Scoop it down and around. Digging low and then scooping it forward, punching it forward, lifting it up, taking it up and back. One more time. Full circle here. So you scoop down to the ground, keep that arm turned on, punch it forward, lift it up, and then we're going to reverse from the top. So think about up and forward now, but still trying to keep the torso square. The tip of the shoulder blade is digging down towards the ground below you. Down and back behind, hugging that shoulder blade up through your spine. And then it's like there's a puppet string lifting that shoulder blade up as it brings itself around. So the upward energy, we're trying to keep it out of initiating through your trapezius and let it be your shoulder girdle or your rotator cuff, I should say. Bringing it up, which is really, really hard to isolate, especially if your traps are already really tight. So don't worry if it's not that big. Like my goal is to encourage us to be as big as possible, but it might not be that big of a movement. And then bring it down. Whew, give that arm a little shake off. Just gonna turn my screen back on. I wanna make sure we can see each other. Okay, give that arm a little shake. We're gonna go to our other side. So I'm gonna turn, so I'll kind of be behind you, but maybe you'll get a different view, which is nice. I'm also like very sunburned. So you get a nice view of that too. Right hand is gonna come to our hip. We're still thinking about our alignment here. And then left arm is reaching out. And again, it's like you're a nutcracker, like you could squeeze that arm. We're trying to keep ease across the tops of the shoulders as we do this. We're really isolating. It's like our angel wing on our back, yeah? Or just a bird wing on our back. Can you feel this arm punch and reach forward? Like really reach it, reach it, reach it, reach it. And then from the tip of the shoulder blade, lift it up. Lift that tip of the shoulder blade up towards your ears. And then you're trying to take that circle and scoop it all the way back. And then your shoulder blade, that intermedial border, is trying to squeeze and hug down your spine, circling down towards the floor, and then digging down, around, and up. That tip of the shoulder blade is lifting up, so that whole scapula gets to rise. It hugs up towards your earlobes and down through your spine, scooping it down and around. Now remember, as we're focusing on this very specific mobility through our scapula, the arm is still turned on. It's squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. And what I hope you start to feel over time is that there is a fatigue that happens here, that in order to access that full range, you actually have to work quite hard. Up and around, and then back behind you. Squeezing into that arm one more time, reaching it forward, around, and up. Let's pause at the top and then take it the other way. So you're circling down, around, and forward, and then it's that tip of the shoulder blade, that bottom tip that's trying to circle down to the floor, and then it's that bottom tip that's lifting up. So it's not coming from the top of the shoulder, it's like someone's lifting you from underneath. And I know that that's a very like, what is that? Because you kind of, it's hard to understand until you feel it. So I'm just going to keep saying it and saying it and saying it until one day that light bulb will go, oh, I figured it out. Brain body connection. Circle it around. One more time. Dig down and around. Lift it up after you've hugged that spine, that vertebrae. And then bring it down. Give your arms a nice shake off. Whew. Good work mobilizing. Let's bring ourselves all the way down. So this is again going to be maybe a little less conventional, but I'm trying to, we've talked a lot about like shoulders and chest opening, and I want to make sure add really good functional movement there for you. So bringing ourselves down, we're going to plant our arms down in front of us, about mat distance. So yeah, about mat distance. My elbows are not completely in line with my shoulders. They're like a little bit north of them, just a little bit. Little bits of housekeeping through those legs. Can we keep our toenails pressed down? Can we zip up through our thighs and glutes and feel that little bit of a scoop towards pubic bone? Gaze is down. We're going to keep our heads down on the floor for this. Usually I would have us lift up, but for what we're doing, I want us to keep our heads down. That being said, I'm going to keep my head up so you can see me and hear me. So your head is going to be down to the mat. I'm going to keep mine up just a little bit. Can we dig those elbows in? Feel like those elbows are super duper trying to press into the floor. And then we're going to start to lift our palms up. So elbows scoop down. Palms are going to lift up, and you're going to hold that shape for 3, for 2, for 1, and then lower down, take a little pause. Check in with the lower body, toenails pressing down, quads zipping up, glutes on belly, stable. Looking down at the floor, your forehead stays glued. Start to feel the shoulder blades hug down the back. Feel those elbows start to really dig into the floor. And as the shoulder blades draw down, elbows hug into the floor, you're just going to lift your forearms and palms off the floor. For 3, for 2, for 1, and then lower down. 3 more like this. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, shoulder blades on the back, elbows stay down. You're pushing and your palms are staying down to the floor for like looking down to the floor for right now. For 3, your head stays down as well. 2, 1, lower it down. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, home base it out with the lower body. Dig into those elbows. Lengthen your forearm out and up as you lift for 3, for 2, for 1. Melt it down. One more time, breathe in. As you breathe out, shoulder blades, belly, toenails, quads. Lift your forearm out and up for 3, for 2, for 1, and then lower down. If you'd like to take a little shell stretch here, you totally can. And then bring yourself back down. That was like a baby shell stretch. I didn't really go all the way. I did some of the way. We're going to do that same thing, but we're going to add a layer. So this time, as you dig those elbows down, as your forearms lift, they're going to rotate. So it's like you're giving a thumbs up or like a hitchhiker thing. So you're going to do a little swivel. The forearms are going to turn in towards each other. Little thumbs up here. We hold that shape and then we draw it down. So not just a lift up of the palms and the forearm forward, they're going to add a little rotation here too. So, or a supination. Toes pressed down, quads are active, low belly is active. We're finding that little bit of a hug towards pubic bone. Forehead stays down. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, you're hugging shoulder blades onto the back. Press the elbows down. Lift your forearms and palms up, and then give yourself that little internal movement to find your hitchhiker's thumbs up, and then hold that there for 3. Squeeze and draw it in for 2. Hug those shoulder blades down for 1, and then melt, give it a little break. We're doing 4 more. Take your breath in. As you breathe out, find all that home base business. Dig the elbows in, shoulder blades on your back, swivel the arms in, give your hitchhiker's thumbs up as you lift up through the forearms and wrists for 3. Keep hugging it there for 2. Keep hugging it there for 1, and then gently bring it down. We have 4 more. Breathe in. As you breathe out, shoulder blades on the back, belly, legs active, swivel those arms, hitchhiker's thumbs up for 3. You've got it here, team, for 2. You've got it here, team, for 1. Bring them down. 4 more. Breathe in. Breathe it out. Shoulder blades on your back. Really dig in through those elbows and see if you can maybe start to find more range, if that makes sense. It should never be screaming at you, but it should feel like work. Bring those arms down. Inhale. As we breathe out, swivel it through. Lift up through those thumbs, wide through the collarbones for 3, for 2. Lots of mid-back strength here as well, yeah? 1. Bring it down. 1 more time, breathe in. As we breathe out, press into those elbows, swivel the arms in, and then we thumbs it up for 3, for 2. Hug the shoulder blades in. 1. Gently release it down. If you'd like to, you can push up and back. Take a shell stretch. Inhaling here. Exhaling out. When you're ready, rippling your spine up. Now, one last little bit of business for some shoulder stuff here. We're going to find ourselves, it's very much like a side plank. Well, it is a side plank, but how we're going to approach it might be a little different, right? Because as we have been. So forearm is pressing down, palm is facing down. Check in. I'm on my left side, so just watching to make sure that left shoulder blade doesn't roll in. We want it to roll back onto the body. You're welcome to keep your knees down and lift up that way. You're welcome to keep 1 foot down and lift up. You're welcome to 2-legged and lift up. We're going to think of it a little bit different today than usual though. So find where you want to be. Make sure that left shoulder blade's on your back. Push the floor down, hug it in, and then lift it up. Now hold where you are. If this is completely unreasonable, find yourself in a side plank upwards with no hands. So your feet would be rooted down, right foot long, left knee underneath you. Your arms would be reaching or crisscrossed here, yeah? You're working the upper instead of the lower obliques, but we're doing both sides anyway. So know that you have options if being on your shoulder is just over. Now, instead of lifting our hips up as high as we can we think of ourselves sort of as one smooth, low, long line? Not down here, but we're not trying to lift ourselves into like a rainbow arc. We're trying to stay nice and long. We're here for 5, or up with both arms reaching. For 4, hug that shoulder in. For 3, belly nice and stable. For 2, last 1, bring it down. If you're up and doing your side plank from up here, please feel free to just start yourself on your second side. If you're on your forearm, there we go. If you're on your forearm, you're going to make your way there. So again, finding a little bit more of a support through that shoulder. Push the floor away. Bring your shoulder blade onto your back. Maybe your knees stay level. Maybe 1 leg, maybe 2 legs. Breathe it in. As you breathe out, lifting it up. Maybe your arm is lifting, maybe it's on your hip, maybe on the floor. I don't really mind, but what we are super certain about is that that right shoulder blade is hugging onto our backs. Lift that arm up. We're here for 5. Stay a little bit lower with the hips today. 4, not up as high as you can. For 3, but also not touching the floor. For 2, last 1, bring it in. Nice job. Give yourself a little shaky shake. We're going to meet cross-legged. So if you would like a little bit of a boost, again, bring that blanket or cushion or whatever you have and just sort of slide it underneath your pelvis. So you want to set it up so that you're sitting just on the edge of your pelvis. Let's pop our right leg in front. And the more boost you have, the better. It's going to give you a little more height through your pelvis. We're going to inhale to reach that right arm up, and then exhale to take a side bend over. Inhaling to lift it up. Exhale it over. One more time, inhale up. Exhale over. And then you're going to keep this side bend. You're going to start to turn your chest down towards the floor. So you're actually now rotating through your collarbones, so they're looking straight down as those arms are nice and reaching. Take this whole shape and walk your hands towards the left upper corner in front of you. And as your hands are in that left upper corner, hug back with your right hip. Keep it really energized, yeah? Never letting any just settle. We want to keep scooping and hugging back. Continue the journey, walking those hands forward, and then bring them all the way up. Little circle through those shoulders. Let's switcheroo skis. So left foot is going to be front. Right hand comes down. Inhale, left arm up. Take that side bend over to the right this time. Inhale up a little bit, and then exhale over. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. And then from this side bend, can you scoop into your belly and rotate your chest down towards the floor? Left hand is going to find the floor next to the right hand, but they're kind of open. And so you're scooping and rounding and twisting on top of yourself here. But if anything feels crunchy or uncomfortable, keep it higher, yeah? You don't have to come all the way around. And then can you walk your hands to the upper right corner of whatever's in front of you, the imaginary box, and you're scooping through your pelvis. That left hip is drawing back. Breathing in here. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then take those hands, walk them completely forward, walk them in and up towards you. Inhale, nice big reach up with those arms. Exhale down, give yourself a squeeze. As always, thank you so much for having me in. You worked so hard today through your whole entire body. You're going to love how you feel tomorrow after those little leg matrices. We are all dado.
Thank you.